or Muslims in Turkey, wherever, they don't seem to understand the message. This is, I had to share it with you because for some reason the Qari, in his Salat he read it, and again in his Qiraat he read it. I said, now let me share this with you before proceeding into the subject. New deceit in Christian evangelism. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَلَن تَرْضَى أَنْكَ الْيَهُودُ وَلَن نَصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُمْ. Allah Bari Ta'ala gives us an eternal reminder about the relationship that would exist, that was existing and would exist between us, the Muslims, and the Jews and the Christians. That, O Muslims, the Jews and the Christians will never, never be satisfied with you. Wallan. Lan in Arabic is a double negative. No, never, never. Most certainly not. The Jews and the Christians will never, never be satisfied with you, O Muslims, unless you follow their brand of religion. And that reminder is there with us. They give us a constant reminder. The Jews actually have fallen out of the race in wanting to convert us. In the early days of Islam, they were telling the early Muslims, he said, what are you following this man Muhammad, an ummi, a man who doesn't know how to read or write? He's going to mislead you. He'll take you to hell. You want to go to heaven? Follow us. You become a Jew if you want to go to heaven. The Christian says, you want to go to heaven? Become a Christian. The Jews have fallen out of that race in wanting to convert anybody. They have made the religion a racial religion. You have to be born a Jew to be a Jew. They don't want you. But the Christian is there. An eternal reminder for us. He's knocking at our doors. And he has created new and new methods, new and new deceits, manner of deceiving the Muslims, catching fish. The fisherman knows. I don't know how many of you people in the Cape usually go fishing, but I'm sure you have some idea that to catch different type of fish, you need different type of bait. Different fish are attracted to different types of baits. In my part of the country, you know, when the shad season, they call it shad, the sardine season, when it goes, there's the shad fish that follows the shad. And if you want to catch the shad, we have to put sardines to catch them. Shrimps or prawns won't do. For other types, you need worms. For another type, you need something else and something else. Different type of fish require different type of bait if you are a fisherman. If you are a good fisherman and you are aiming for what you want, you have to use the right bait. Now the Christians have discovered that. They have been studying us. Muslims all over the world, they have been studying us, they're watching. They conquered our lands. Malaysia, they conquered. Indonesia, they conquered. India, my land, they conquered. Egypt, they conquered. In all the Muslim countries, almost every nation, except for about 3, during 1918, only about 3 nominally independent nations existed. Otherwise, the whole Muslim world was under subjugation by the Christians. Whichever way you looked, Christian domination. They conquered us, they ruled us, they enslaved us. And they wanted to convert us. But wanting to convert us, they were watching our behavior. They watched the Muslim child going to the madrasa. He sees a piece of paper, the little child, and something is written in Arabic. The child picks it up, he kisses it, folds it, and puts it in his Quran, or puts it in his bag. Am I wrong? A Muslim child, or an old man, you see anything written in Arabic, we know it's written in Arabic, and the only Arabic we have been used to seeing is the Arabic of the Quran. We didn't know that you can write Lady Chatterley's lover in this script. We didn't know, wallah. Anything you see in Arabic is Allah's kalam. Pick it up, kiss it, put it in the book, in the Quran. Whether it's Arabian Nights, filthy, dirty stories, written in Arabic, torn into pages, thrown about, the old man, the young man, anybody, everybody picks it up, put it in the Quran. Am I right or wrong? We still do that. We'll still do it. Suspecting that it is Allah's kalam. People can play a big joke on us. filthy, dirty stories. Pornography can be written in Arabic. Do you know that? Pornography, about filthy, dirty things, about sex. In Arabic, there are books in Arabic. And if the guy tears it and throws it around here, or in Mitchell's Plain or wherever, the Muslim, young and old, there's nothing to laugh at. See, it's our psychology. We are trained. Because in our mind, this associates with the Quran. That's script. And Allah will reward us for this. Wallah, even in this book of pornography, you pick up those pages and you kiss it, Allah will reward you for that. Because why did you do it? You did it because of the love of Allah's kalam. That this is how Allah's kalam looks, so we respect it. We don't know what it is. Allah will reward you. But the Christian was watching. Say, this Sulla fellow, this Moors, this I can see that he'll bite that calligraphy. So, he says, right, let us catch fish with that calligraphy. And I got caught. I'm supposed to be more learned than most of you. You agree? In your mind, of course. You think, Deedat is a very, very learned fellow. In your mind, you think, therefore you respect me, you honor me, so come uncle, talk to us. I'm talking to you. You don't know how poor I am in Arabic. You don't know. But you think this guy is great because he's standing in front of you and talking, sharing with you his thoughts. I get caught. I'm in Pakistan. I deliver a lecture. Thousands. After the lecture, the people want to pump your hand for blessings. You want to get blessings. And I tell you something peculiar about the Malays. In Malaysia, in Singapore, not only they shake hand, but they want to kiss your hand. Every Malay wants to kiss your hand. Fortunately, you people don't go to that extreme. But they, your brothers, your cousins, your uncles, everybody want to kiss the hand. So at first I was resistant. I said, no, you want to kiss my hand. I said, no. But for how long? I wasn't this old. I was about 10 years younger than this when I went. Then I said, right, go ahead. What can you do? You're going to fight? Everybody? I don't want you to kiss my hand. And everybody is forcing. So I said, go ahead, now kiss. So the Pakistan is not so bad. It was not so good. They're shaking hand. There comes along a young boy, about 11 or 13-year-old, bareheaded. A lot of Muslims, they don't put anything on. They don't have nothing on their heads. Even in masjids, they come along. They have different types of different standards. More especially the Indian Muslim is getting very bad with that. I'll be speaking on that topic. If the label shows your intent, wear it. It was announced, I don't know where, but it will be in one of these talks. So this young boy hands to me these beautiful, I don't know what you call this beautiful calligraphy. He hands me like this. He's giving me like this. Can you see something written on it? Can you read it, Akhi? Try, don't be afraid. You see, I saw this as Allah Muhammad. And I wanted to kiss it. I'm still old-fashioned. But people not giving me a chance to kiss it. So I put it in my pocket and carried on, shaking hands. In Karachi, I had no time to take them out of the pocket.